Okay, so let's talk about a reality of YouTubing, and that is that if the audio is bad, it doesn't matter how good the video is. Honestly, right? You've been there before. You try to watch something and the audio is so bad that you just like, well, I got to go to the next video. I got to go watch something else. And that's what I'm talking about here. You've got to get good audio. And the way you're going to do that is you edit it in iMovie. Okay, and so I'm going to show you in this next little clip here how I edit in iMovie and also how I set it so that the volume on the microphone is set correctly. Because I'm recording this right now with just the built-in mic. Now, granted, I'm alone in here. That's a little bit different. If you have other people in the room, you might need to get one of these other microphones. They're more directional, so they only pick up what's right in front of them rather than everything else in the room. But I just wanted to show you it is possible to record with just the built-in mics. They work really good if you're alone. Okay, so let's talk about how I adjust the audio levels in iMovie. So this is just from the intro. You just barely watched right above this. And I'm going to select that track, and you can see right here under volume, I'm actually at 174% of my audio. So there's a couple of things. I am only using the default microphone that's built into my MacBook. So a couple things you do there. You go to your system preferences. You check your sound here. This is before you do recording. And you make sure that as you talk, you bounce into these last three. You never want to hit this last one. So Mary had a little lamb, Mary had a little lamb. You can see I should be turning this up a little bit. That's probably why I had to turn it up later on, okay? So Mary had a little lamb. Now I'm bouncing into the last three. I'm never hitting this one. So that's number one. You got to make sure your input level is good. Then you record your segment, okay? So check your input. And then remember, this is your input. And see, I'm just using the internal microphone. Everything's better now, okay? So go back to this. Okay, since I had it just recorded a little soft, because this is what you want to see. You want to see these little bits and pieces of it down here where my mouse is. You want to peek into the yellow a little bit, okay? You don't ever want to have this thing go into the red. So this is what it looks like. Let me just adjust this back down to near 100%. That's what it was. You can see down there at the bottom here, nothing is going into the yellow. So I had to turn it up, just kept turning it up until something started to touch the yellow, and I left it there at 174. Okay, so that's your trick in your own channel, doing your own. In iMovie, you need to get the audio peaking into the yellow, and you can adjust it here. Okay, if you and also you saw that you set the record level in System Preferences so that you get pretty close to that peaking into the yellow. So those are the two things you need to do, and make sure everything is the same. So if you add something, say another clip to this, and that clip is too soft, like we go here where I edit, this is too soft, right? You can't just leave it like that. You've got to adjust it so that these clips will match each other. So again, I go in there and I turn up the volume until, keep turning it up here until something peaks into the yellow. There we go. So this is now adjusted to 200, and you can see I'm peaking into the yellow. So that's what you need to do to make sure all of your clips, and look at this one's way too loud. So then I got to go here and I got to take this, I got to turn it down so that it's just barely peeking into the yellow, a little more, right about there. And you can see now it's peeking into the yellow. So you'll do that with all the clips. You make sure that everything, this is called normalizing your volume, and it makes your show sound professional because it doesn't have high spots and low spots. Everything uniformly sounds about the same volume. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And it starts with recording at a good volume level by checking your settings here. Okay, that's where it starts with, good recordings at good levels. Make sure you're peaking into these last three as you talk. Mary had, see, I can even turn up a little bit more. Mary had a little lamb. There we go. Mary had a little lamb. Very good.